probably lean slightly to Crawford in this fight.
We're gonna beat this motherfucker's ass, dog. It ain't no cakewalk. We're gonna beat his ass, so I promise you that.
Errol Spence and stepping up the weight classes. I'm in Spencer's camp. We're both in the same position, aligned, foolishly together perhaps, in the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez.
The boxing world is buzzing as Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford edges closer. Experts, legends, and fighters are split with bold predictions on who will reign supreme. Will Canelo's power and size be too much, or can Crawford's skills and IQ pull off the upset of the century? To start with, Terence Crawford shared his thoughts that he's always been an underdog, which gives him confidence going into this fight. The things that made the fight different are the opponent he's facing, the weight he's moving up to, the high level of fighter in Canelo, and the legacy that's on the line, all together making this his most unique challenge.
All my life.
All your life?
I've been an underdog all my life. You know, so I feel good, I feel comfortable, I'm confident, you know, and this is no unfamiliar place for me.
You've had a lot of memorable fights. What makes this one different?
I think, you know, this one is different because of the opponent that I'm facing, the weight that I'm facing, the level of fighter that I'm facing, what's on the line, the legacy, just everything as a whole is, you know, make this fight different than the others.
Similarly, Canelo Alvarez explained that this fight with Terence Crawford carries a different weight compared to others. He acknowledged that Crawford is a unique kind of opponent, and because of that, the matchup feels bigger. For Canelo, it's not just another fight. It holds great significance for his career and legacy. Canelo Alvarez stated, "Terence Crawford is different. You can feel it right away, and you know how big, how important for my legacy." Kicking off the predictions, Eddie Hearn admitted that while Canelo is the favorite, he personally leans slightly toward Crawford. He believes Crawford has a real chance to win, despite Canelo being the bigger, more established star. Essentially, it's a close fight, and either could come out on top.
I probably, and you know, Canelo's my guy, but I probably lean slightly to Crawford in this fight, which, you know, me and you debated over a coffee downstairs. I know that I think you maybe go the other way, but I think that Canelo will be a favourite going in, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Crawford could do it.
Moving on, Oscar De La Hoya highlighted the danger of Crawford facing Canelo's power, noting he was once rocked by a smaller Gamboa, while Canelo has absorbed punches from much bigger men. He noted Crawford would face relentless pressure over 12 rounds, but also credited his IQ, footwork, composure, and fighting heart as qualities that make him dangerous in this matchup.
When I watched Terence Crawford get rattled and rocked by Yorkis Gamboa, who's a natural 30-pounder, that to me is going to be a huge problem when he gets hit by Canelo. So he fights at 175. He's fighting these big monsters. Right. Yeah. He's not getting rattled at all.
No.
Berlanga's a big kid.
Right. Yeah.
So it makes me think, I mean, how is Crawford going to keep him away for 12 rounds? Canelo's going to come at him hard.
Right.
But then again, I think about Crawford's abilities and his IQ and his footwork, which Canelo cannot handle. And the one thing about Crawford is that he knows how to handle the pressure. He's a savvy boxer, you know? And he doesn't run, and he has that heart. He's a dog, he has that heart. You want to fight me? I'm going to fight you.
On the Joe Rogan podcast, the panel favored Terence Crawford, praising him as the better boxer with sharper in-fight adjustments than Canelo. Their main concern was Crawford's size and whether his power would carry up in weight, noting that against Madrimov, it didn't fully show. Still, they believe his skill set gives him the edge, unless Canelo's power proves overwhelming.
Personally, I'm a big Crawford fan, so I'm going to lean his way. My only concern is just the size. Like, it didn't look like Terrence's power transferred in the last fight, so
with
now
Madrimov,
it's coming up some more, you know what I mean?
Part of the problem with that is Madrimov's really good.
Yeah.
He's really
good. But I just think Crawford is, it's weird to say against Canelo, but I think he's the better boxer, and I think he's the guy who can make the better in-fight adjustments if Canelo doesn't kill him.
From an analytical perspective, Amir Khan explained that Crawford holds more advantages because he's taken less punishment and built his career steadily while moving up in weight. In contrast, Canelo has jumped divisions, faced heavy punchers like Bivol and Golovkin, and endured physically demanding fights that take a toll. Khan believed Crawford looked like the fresher fighter and could edge out the win based on that freshness and durability.
I think Crawford, in my opinion, has more attributes, like more advantages in this fight, because being the guy that's not taking much punishment and not many hard fights, going up and down weight categories. See, one thing about Crawford, he's built himself up slowly, whereas Canelo's jumped up and down weights. And he's always been a heavy guy, and he's probably taking bigger punches from the heavier weights and stuff like Bivol and Triple G, and those fights take a lot out of you. So I just feel, looking at it, the fresher fighter in that fight is Crawford, and I think he's the fresher guy who's going to probably edge it, in my opinion.
Turning to Coach Brian Bomac McIntyre, he made it clear that the fight won't be easy, but he's confident in Crawford's preparation. He boldly vowed that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez's up.
I gotta ask, man, do you have a prediction on the fight for Canelo Alvarez?
We're gonna beat this motherfucker's ass, dog. It ain't no cakewalk. We're gonna beat his ass. I promise you that.
Similarly, according to Max Kellerman, Crawford is now the best pound-for-pound fighter, while Canelo, though once in that position, has begun to show signs of decline after such a long career. He pointed to Crawford's recent dominance, moving up divisions, dismantling Errol Spence, and beating top names as proof of his current edge. In Kellerman's view, when weighing the key factors, Crawford checks most boxes and stands as the favorite in terms of skill and form, even if Canelo holds size and experience advantages.
They both have sky-high ring IQs. If I have to, Crawford, if you ask me again, there's a reason that I think Crawford's the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, right? Because I think, and Canelo once was. So even though Crawford is biologically older, Canelo has had the longer career. He's been fighting since he's a teenager, and there's been signs recently that maybe he's not the same guy that he used to be. Because to me, pound for pound is not a fairness issue. It's an issue of just who do you think is better? And the last time I saw Crawford, he moved up yet another division, beat at the time a guy I thought was the best fighter in the division. Turns out he wasn't, but I thought he was at the time. And before that, had just annihilated Errol Spence. So if you look at all the boxes, I'm going to check Crawford for most of them, if not all of them. But the reason Canelo is favored is because Canelo does a lot of things at a very high level, and he's a naturally bigger guy.
Meanwhile, Simon Jordan and Spencer Oliver confidently predicted that Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez. They highlighted his rise from defeating Ricky Burns to completely dominating him with skill and control, and moving successfully through weight classes. Both are confident and openly backing Crawford in this matchup.
But Crawford, it'll be interesting to see how their styles gel and how the fight proceeds. But having watched Crawford like you have done, from the moment he landed on his shores to deal with Ricky Burns all those years ago, to the manner in which he dismantled Errol Spence and stepping up the weight classes, I'm in Spencer's camp. We're both in the same position, aligned, foolishly together perhaps, in the belief that Crawford will beat Alvarez, and I'd like to see him beat Alvarez, quite frankly.
In defense of Crawford, Andre Ward explained that Crawford already beat the best in his division, and no fighter should be expected to face elite opponents every time because it's damaging to their health. Ward added that he's heard Crawford did make offers to fight others, but those fights didn't happen for reasons beyond his control.
Somebody like Crawford and Spence, they're not interested, and I don't think you could really knock them. And some people say, well, how you gonna say that about Canelo but not Crawford? It's a difference, bro. Terence Crawford fought the best dude in the division. Did he not?
Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah.
You can fight number one, then you can go fight a B-level guy, C-level guy. You should not fight top fighters every single time out. I know they used to do that. That ain't good for your health. Go ahead and fight the top guy, and you can say, man, I'm gonna pick and choose one or two. But then if you see another dude that's rumbling in the press, the performances are backing up what the press is saying, you gotta take that risk at a certain point in time. So it's different with Terence Crawford. So I don't knock Terence and say, oh, you ain't fighting Boots. And I don't know all the details. I've heard that Terence has made them offers that they turned down. Don't know the validity of it. They say that they want the fight.
Meanwhile, boxing coach Robert Garcia weighed in on the matchup, focusing on Crawford's strategy against Canelo's size and power, emphasizing that Crawford is strong, smart, and dangerous. He pointed out Canelo's recent tendency to fight in single punches rather than applying finishing pressure, which could allow Crawford to outbox him. Garcia believed Crawford's best chance is to rely on speed, ring IQ, and discipline to win a decision, since knocking out Canelo is unlikely.
I know a lot of people are not very excited about that fight, and they think the size difference, huge difference, but Crawford's big, man. Crawford's a very strong fighter. He's a very smart fighter also. So look, the way Canelo's been fighting his last couple of fights, where he's just looking for one punch at a time and maybe not doing enough to hurt his opponents, maybe not doing enough to finish them off. I could see Crawford pulling it off.
Decision.
I think Crawford could pull off a decision because he's fast, he's smart, and he doesn't need to run. He could stay around Canelo and just pretty much focus on winning a decision. Because I don't think he could knock out Canelo, but he could definitely win a decision.
Adding to the expert analysis, boxing legend Antonio Tarver praised Crawford as one of the most gifted fighters who built his career through hard work, dedication, and leadership. He noted that Crawford's ring IQ and unique style set him apart from the start. However, the question is whether Crawford can hurt Canelo, because without that, surviving 12 rounds against such a strong opponent becomes extremely difficult. He stressed that Crawford's only chance is to box smart, stay elusive, and avoid being trapped on the ropes. But even then, winning on points against Canelo would be nearly impossible.
Bud, one of the most gifted fighters out there, bro. And he got it the hard way. You feel me? The hard way. Through work, commitment, and dedication, and being a leader. He's really led a lot of these young champions. You feel me? So Crawford has stood out from the beginning, bro. Different. The way he approached the game. And I love the way he processed the game when he get in there. Now, can he hurt Canelo? That's gonna be the key. That's gonna be the key, because you can't knock nothing out you can't hurt. You can't knock nobody out if you can't hurt him. Now, if Crawford is in here to do 12 grueling rounds with a strong fighter like Canelo, I think his best game plan is to box, be elusive, in and out. You feel me? But never stand still long enough for Canelo to dig 3 or 4 on you.
Moreover, Lamont Roach Sr. shared his thoughts. He praised both fighters, calling himself a big Canelo fan after witnessing his greatness up close, while also recognizing Crawford as a rare, relentless competitor with a strong team behind him. Roach emphasized that if anyone can pull off an upset against Canelo, it's Crawford, but he reminded that Canelo is a dangerous opponent. In the end, he avoided a firm prediction, saying he's simply expecting a great fight.
I'm trying to get away from predictions. I am a huge Canelo fan because he was in the same stable. We seen him fight up person and seen his greatness. But Terence Crawford is one of those guys, and if anybody could pull off the upset, it could be Terence Crawford. He has a strong team behind him, and he don't know how to lose. So he got that on his record. But he's facing a bad man that night, so we're gonna see what happens. So I'm just looking for a great fight.
Breaking down the matchup, David Hay highlighted that both Canelo and Crawford have the power, experience, and finishing ability to hurt each other. He noted that if either man gets caught, it won't stop at one punch. It will trigger a flurry that could put someone down, while praising their chin, heart, and punch variety. In his view, the deciding factor may come down to which fighter has fewer miles on the clock.
I think they both got the firepower and the experience and the finishing to beat each other. If one of them gets hit with a massive shot, it won't just be one shot. It'll be one shot followed by 3, 4, 5, 6 shots, and at least someone's going to go down. I can see that happening both ways. They're both that good. They both got great chins, but once again, something's got to give. Something's got to break on one of them. And who is it that has less miles on the clock? Who is it? They're both proven they've got the heart and they've got the punch variety.
Turning to bold predictions, Tatted Up Boxing expected that Terence Crawford to fall short in his upcoming bout, potentially losing by knockout before the 10th round. They add that his post-fight excuses could expose the reality of the outcome.
But we'll see. This is another prediction from Tatted Up Boxing, bro. Terence Crawford will lose this fight. I think he'll probably get knocked out, bro, and I think he'll probably get knocked out under 10 rounds. And Once Terence Crawford loses this fight, bro, we're gonna hear the pre-built excuses. And when Terence Crawford starts telling you guys these pre-built excuses, you guys are finally gonna hear the truth about this fight and what it was the whole time from Terence Crawford himself.
On the other hand, Andy Ruiz weighed in on the clash, praising Canelo as a proud Mexican fighter with the heart of a warrior. At the same time, he acknowledged Crawford's slick skills, sharp movement, and tricky stance that could create challenges. Ruiz believed their contrasting styles make it an exciting clash where both fighters bring their best, with the outcome decided by who executes under pressure.
Who wins, Canelo or Crawford?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. I'm going for Canelo, of course. You know, he's the Mexican warrior as well. And for Crawford, man, you can't neglect him or you can't underestimate him as well. You know, he has a lot of skills, a lot of movement. He's a lefty as well. That's what Canelo has trouble with. I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, man. I just can't wait, and the best man wins.
Turning to coach Joel Diaz, he dismissed the idea that Crawford can beat Canelo, pointing to the huge size difference. He argued Canelo can take Crawford's shots easily, just like he absorbed Triple G's power, while Crawford won't be able to handle Canelo's punches. Diaz noted Crawford struggled to hurt Madrimov at 154, making the jump to 168 against Canelo an even bigger challenge.
A lot of people that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alveraz fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, the heaviest hitter in that division.
From a weight perspective, Manny Pacquiao called it a great fight, but noted Canelo has the natural advantage since Crawford is moving up in weight. He advised Crawford to focus on maintaining and improving his speed, sharpening his footwork, and adding strength, as speed will be crucial for competing at the higher weight. Manny Pacquiao said, "It's a good fight. Canelo has the advantage because Crawford is moving up in weight. My advice to Crawford is to maintain his speed, focus on footwork, and increase his power, since it's hard to move up in weight and stay fast." On the other side, Gabe Rosado favors Canelo in the fight, pointing out that Crawford's moving up 3 weight classes presents a major challenge. He explained that Crawford isn't a typical foot-moving boxer, but relies on angles, making the matchup different from typical mover fights. The prediction leans toward Canelo due to size and style advantages.
I favor Canelo, not by a lot, but I do favor him. I just think that, you know, I think the skull fight was just a bad style. At 54, he gave you problems. 68 is different. You know what I'm saying? So you going up 3 weight classes, because he was 47, 54, 60, 68. That's 3 weight classes. It's a major difference, man. And, you know, one thing is like, right, so people are saying Canelo has problems with movers. But the reality is Crawford's not a mover. Crawford's not a fighter that fights on his feet, in the sense of boxing, kind of like, let's say, how a Pernell Whitaker would box or how Andy Lara would box. Crawford is a fighter that works on angles. He's not on his feet like Muhammad Ali. You know what I'm saying? He's not that kind of boxer.
Furthermore, Canelo's sparring partner Sean Hemphill described the fight as tough, recognizing the strengths on both sides, with Canelo's chin, experience, and resume standing out. He noted that for Crawford to have a chance, he must stay smart, keep moving, and avoid being overwhelmed by Canelo's size and pressure.
It's a great fight. I keep going back and forth on it. One day I feel like Bud could get him. Then I go back and I'm like, I don't know. Canelo got a hell of a chin, and he got a lot of experience. He's been in there with so many different great fighters. So I might have to just watch this one play out. It's going to be a great fight.
If Bud is going to beat Canelo, how does he negate the physical advantages that Saul will have from your point of view?
If Crawford beats Canelo,
what does he have to do to beat Canelo to negate those physical advantages, the size, the weight?
Yeah, he's going to have to box. He's going to have to be smart, moving, not just sitting in one spot and let Canelo pressure him and break him down.
Additionally, Showbiz the Adult shared his take, noting that while Crawford looked strong in camp, he still predicted Canelo would beat him. Initially, the fight was perceived as one-sided, but Crawford's strong online support has shifted the perception, adding value and intrigue to the matchup.
I like what I'm seeing out of Camp Crawford. I must say he's looking fantastic. Now, I do still have Saul Canelo Alvarez beating Bud Crawford. This fight was initially kind of a one-sided credited fight, where if Terence Crawford beats Saul Canelo Alvarez, he's on a Mount Rushmore. If Saul Canelo Alvarez beats Bud Crawford, it's kind of like, of course. But now the Bud Buddies has gone across all of social media and attacked social media so impactfully, like a plague, that now it's starting to give more value if Saul Canelo Alvarez wins.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford has fans on the edge of their seats, with experts, legends, and fighters divided over who will come out on top. From Crawford's sharp skills and ring IQ to Canelo's power, size, and experience, this matchup promises fireworks. The big question remains, can Crawford's speed, technical ability, and clever strategy neutralize Canelo's strength and championship experience? Or will Canelo's dominance prove too much? Share your predictions in the comments. Who do you think will reign supreme? Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more fight breakdowns.